Hello everyone, this is Enrique Castellanos with the original Next Level Gaming Podcast. Thank you again for joining us for our video game review of the indie stealth-based game called Volume. Volume is actually developed by Mike Bithell and takes place in modern-day England. And something unique has happened to England in the future. England has actually been taken over by a corporation, believe it or not, a la maybe something like Microsoft taking over the U.S. But the main character here is played by Robert Loxley, and he's a thief who's discovered this device called the Volume, which allows him to simulate heists that are going to be part of a secret military coup attempt to overthrow the evil CEO, in this case, Guy Gisborne, of the organization that's taken over England. Now, Volume's actually a unique game in the sense that it is a pure, old school stealth game, meaning that it's a top-down. It plays in a top-down third-person view. You don't get any weapons. You can't kill the enemies, which there are the robots that are patrolling the rooms here, as you can see, and they're actually called pawns. And so you don't really get the luxury of taking these guys out. They can take you out if they see you, but the only thing you can do is use some of these gadgets the game provides you as you kind of advance onto the different levels. Now, the levels are actually cleverly drawn. I think one of the things that I really liked about this game was how there's different level variety. It's almost like a puzzle maze in some ways when you're trying to figure out how to get around the pawns, or even in some instances the gun turrets. So you'll find yourself kind of sneaking around, learning the different patterns of the pawns to try to sneak behind them as they move in a different direction so you're out of their sight. And one of the things that the game does in regards to the pawns, it actually gives you shows you actually their field of vision. So as long as you don't walk in front of their field of vision or disrupt it, you're probably not going to get caught or shot. Now, if you do get caught, you do have a couple seconds to kind of hightail it and try to outrun them. I was able to do it a couple times, but for the most part, I found that to be pretty unsuccessful. So as you move on, though, as I mentioned, you do get different items that you can use towards distracting the pawns or the gun turrets. And one of my favorite tools was called the bugle. And the bugle essentially lets you throw it across a room, maybe past a pawn, and then you hit the right trigger button, and it allows you to make a noise distracting the pawns, so they're either turn around so you can kind of move past them, or allows you to maybe have them walk into a different part of the room where you can get to the objectives. Now, the objectives are actually pieces of jewelry that you have to collect at different parts of the room, and then once you successfully complete or collect all those pieces of jewels, you move on to the next level. Now, the one interesting thing about this game in terms of levels is that it does allow players to make their own customized levels for the purpose of online play. The developer very much has in mind really wants to kind of just build the online community here by allowing players to design their own levels and have other online players play them as well. Now, I didn't get a lot of time to really play around with level design. I did design one level, but compared to the levels of the main story, it wasn't. They weren't as good. The one thing I can say, though, that I was really impressed with too is the music of the game. I really enjoyed the music. It gives a nice vibe to the stealth element of the game as well. So I really definitely enjoyed that. Now, there is an online leaderboard, so you can kind of see where you stack against some of the other folks that have completed the levels based on time. So if you're a competitive gamer, you're really going to like that online feature as well. Now, all in all, I really love this game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm a big stealth guy. Really enjoyed games like Metal Gear, Splinter Cell, and actually this game really reminds me of kind of the old school Metal Gear games that I grew up playing. That top-down, third-person view type game where you're trying to sneak around past enemies. So, all in all, I give this game an 8 out of 10, and I would highly recommend checking this game out. If you're looking for something fun to play, something that's easy to pick up and play as well. And again, if you're an individual like me who likes stealth games, you're really going to enjoy this game as well. So, well, thank you again for your time. I appreciate you for stopping by, checking out our latest video game review. Please make sure to check out our YouTube channel, the Original Next Level Gaming Podcast channel on YouTube. And obviously, we appreciate the subscription, so please feel free to subscribe. And also leave any comment section in the comment section below. We're also continuously working on new video reviews. I know my colleague Mike Mullis is working on some reviews as we speak, and should have those up as well. But also feel free to check out some of more recent video games review as well. So thank you again for your time, folks. This is Enrique Castellanos again with the Original Next Level Gaming Podcast. And remember, gamers, to play on.